So what's the deal with the Las Vegas Raiders in the injury report? We're going to go over that. We have 3 major injuries that the Raiders are dealing with, and it is going to be a question as to whether or not they will be up and ready to go for this coming week's game against the Washington Commanders. So let's jump into the biggest one of all, and that is going to be Brock Bowers. He has that knee injury that he suffered 2 weeks ago. They played him last week in our loss, 20-9. And he was able to take 77% of the snaps without any major issue. However, when you did watch him play, Brock Bowers was appearing to be favoring that knee, and he was not cutting as quickly and as hard as he normally does, and he wasn't able to get up to full speed, it looked like, when he was running even in a straight line. So I think that this week the Raiders really have to make a very difficult decision. As of right now, he was limited in practice. Now, in order for him not to go on the injury report Friday, which is tomorrow, he is going to have to fully practice tomorrow in order to avoid that designation. Right now, he is listed as a day-to-day game time decision. Not sure if he will be ready to go or not. I think that the Raiders have to do one of two things. If your superstar tight end is not 100% healthy, and taking a week off, which he should have done last week, will help him to get healthy, you probably sit him this game and you rely heavily on Michael Mayer. The game plan is most likely going to be heavy dosage of Ashton Jeanty this week, which we have not seen in the first 2 weeks. Expect Ashton Jeanty to get at least 20 to 25 carries this week. And so having Michael Mayer out there, who is a really good, strong, physical blocker, really makes sense anyway. So that's why you kept Michael Mayer. That's why you didn't trade him away, because if your star goes down, you have a very good, a starting level good tight end who can come in and fill in his spot. I think the prudent thing to do would probably go ahead and sit him down if he is not 100% ready to go. Now, before we get into the next 2 major injuries that the Raiders have to address is, I want to say thank you to Box House, and they are the sponsor of this channel. They are the sponsor of this video. They have been absolutely wonderful to work with. They have the best tiny homes in the business. Check this out. Look at the quality of these homes. You just don't get this in a lot of these manufactured tiny home businesses. Their product is bar none one of the best that I have ever seen. Their customer service is the best that I've ever worked with. I've done business with them myself. Phone number is on the screen. Call Kevin today. Give him a call. He's the owner of the company. He will talk directly to you and walk you through the entire process. Also, the link to their website for their products is in the description. All right, guys, now let's talk about the next injury that we have to talk about, and that is Jeremy Chinn. Jeremy Chinn is out with a pectoral injury right now. He did limit, he was in practice, but limited today, and he is another one of those questionable if he will be able to go on Sunday or not. Now, with Jeremy Chinn, this is a big piece because our secondary really struggled last week. We need Jeremy Chinn in there, and we need him to be able to be really playing at a high level. And if he has a pectoral injury, he's not going to be able to. The biggest issue is it doesn't stop him from running. It doesn't stop him from coverage. It stops him from tackling. And it's one of those injuries that you can re-injure again. I don't expect to see Jeremy Chinn this Sunday. I think that he will end up having to sit out. Again, we'll see if he fully practices tomorrow or if he gets that injury designation. Now, the next guy that we need to talk about, which is going to have an even bigger impact, again, is JPJ. JPJ, again, today was limited in practice. He will have to be able to fully practice tomorrow, which means in order for him to even fully practice, he's going to have to pass the NFL's concussion protocol, which to my understanding he has not yet done. So he will have to do that tomorrow and then commit to a full practice tomorrow in order to avoid the injury designation. Now, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't be able to play, but it just has an effect on the lineup and who you're going to bring up and who you're going to take to DC with you. So JPJ, in my opinion, is probably not going to play either. I think out of the 3, he is the least likely one to play because of his injury happening in a practice late last week, which means he hasn't had a full 2 weeks to really get over that injury. Now, also, JPJ needs to get moved back to the center position. And I think this week without JPJ is really going to solidify that for him. Without him being out there, I don't expect this offensive line to be able to do much in the run blocking scheme that we are currently using. They're just not built for it. They're not set up for it. And they're not able to get people off of the X and open up holes. So I think that the best case scenario is JPJ sits out another week. And this just goes to further show that Jordan Meredith is not the answer at center, that it is really JPJ. And that was a mistake. Handing that over to Jordan Meredith, it should have been JPJ. But who am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube. I am not Pete Carroll. That's going to come down to him. As far as the injuries go, I don't think that JPJ will play in this game. Everybody else is expected to be out there as long as there's no injuries tomorrow in practice. Guys, make sure you subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next Raiders video.